Hey there! If you're a small business owner in New Zealand, you know that amazing feeling when your business starts to really take off. But you also know that with growth comes, well, a bit more admin, especially when it comes to GST. So today, we're going to talk about making sure your tax settings are keeping up with your success.
So let me ask you this straight up. Is your business outgrowing its GST settings? Seriously, think about it. The settings that made perfect sense when you were just starting out might not be the right fit anymore. This is kind of like a quick financial health check for your growing company. You see, as your business changes, you're going to run into two different kinds of GST updates. Some of them are optional, changes you can choose to make life easier. And then there are the mandatory ones, the updates you have to make by law once you hit certain milestones. And this really gets to the heart of it. On one hand, you've got the choices you can make to make your admin a bit smoother or to just fit your workflow better. But on the other hand, there are the changes you absolutely must make to stay on the right side of the tax law. Let's dive into both, and we'll start with the choices you get to make.
All right, so let's talk about the things you can control. The first big one is your filing frequency. This is basically just deciding how often you're going to file your GST returns.
And the great thing is, you are not locked into one schedule forever. You can, and probably should, tweak this to whatever works best for your business, as long as you're eligible, of course. It's all about finding a rhythm that doesn't drive you crazy.
So what are the options? Well, it breaks down pretty simply. If your annual sales are under $500,000, you can get away with filing just twice a year. If you're turning over less than $24 million, you can file every 2 months. And hey, if you love staying on top of things, anyone at all can choose to file monthly.
And here's a perfect real-world reason why you might want to switch. Let's be honest, trying to sort out 6 months of GST in one go can feel like a mammoth task. Breaking that down into smaller 2-monthly chunks, so much more manageable. Plus, it can really help you keep a better eye on your cash flow. Okay, on to the next key setting you need to know about, your accounting basis. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but don't worry. All it really means is how your business counts its money for GST. Simple as that. Now, for most small businesses, the go-to method is called the payments basis. It's really straightforward. You only deal with the GST on your sales and purchases when the money actually lands in or leaves your bank account. And this is the one we really need to pay attention to because there's a hard limit on when you can use it.
Which brings us to the part of GST that's, not up for negotiation. This is where your business growth actually triggers changes that you are legally required to make. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So the bottom line is, as your business gets more and more successful and your sales start climbing, you can actually cross these invisible lines that make your old GST settings invalid. So let's look at the exact numbers you need to watch out for.
Here we go. The first hard and fast rule. The moment your annual sales tip over $2 million, you can no longer use the payments basis. You must switch your accounting basis. Think of it as a clear line in the sand.
And here's the second big one. Once your sales hit more than $24 million in any 12-month period, the choice is no longer yours. You can't file 2 monthly or 6 monthly anymore. At this point, you have to move to filing your GST every single month.
Okay, I know hearing about mandatory changes can sound a little daunting, but the good news is actually making the switch is surprisingly simple. Let me show you what you need to do.
Honestly, it's about as easy as it gets. You just log into your MyIR account, find your GST settings, and update either your filing frequency or your accounting basis. That's it. No complicated paperwork, no waiting on hold for ages, just a few clicks and you're done.
So let's circle right back to where we started. Now that you know all this, ask yourself again, are your GST settings still the right fit for your business? It's a great time to pull up your numbers and just double check. Keeping your settings aligned with your growth is such a simple but vital part of managing your success. Hopefully this has helped clear things up for you.